Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you for joining me in my craft closet today. I have a little sweet treat holder that I want to share with you today. This one it's similar to ones that I've done in the past, but this one is actually holding one of the bigger Hershey Kisses, the ones that have the little hazelnut inside. Now you can see the difference between the two different sizes of the Kisses. So I thought, well, let me do a little holder for this, and it was a little bit of a challenge because, well, I wanted to make it pretty, but I also kind of wanted to just find some paper that would look really nice with it, and I did. And it really helped me to use up some of my scraps. And this paper that I'm using here is from the Bohemian DSP collection. I know it's not as festive as what people like this time of year, but I thought, this is a good way for me to use up my scraps. And so that's what I did. So let me show you how I put this box together. It measures 1.5 inches this way, and it measures, let me measure it because I didn't measure it. It's about maybe 2.5 inches tall, maybe a little taller with the bow. But what I'm using for this is the tags and labels die. Okay, and so let me get started first, and I'll show you which die to use when we get there. First, you're going to need a piece of paper, and I'm using some cardstock, and this one is the Island Indigo because it's going to match this paper that I have from the Bohemians stack DSP. And this measures, for the box, it measures 4.5 by 2.5, and the cover over here measures 7.5 by 1.5. Okay, so let's get started. And what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score the two pieces. Let me get out of the glare here. I'm going to score the pieces, and I am going to score this one on the long side. This is the box now. On the long side, I'm scoring this at 1/2 inch. Oh yeah, I got the right side. Okay, 1/2 inch, okay, and then 2 inches, okay, and then we're going to go to 2.5 inches, right there, and then we're going to go to 4 inches, okay, and then we're going to turn this around, and we're going to go 1/2 inch, okay, and then we're going to go to 2 inches. Okay, and that's all the scoring done for the box. Now for the outside cover, on the long side, the 7.5 inch side, you're going to score this at 3 inches, and then you're going to turn it over and score it again at 3 inches. Okay, all right, now we're going to put this away now because we're done with our simply scored scoreboard. Hold on just a second, I think I dropped some important pieces. Oh, nope, I got them. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's start with the box. What you need to do for the box is you need to take a template that measures 1.25 inches round, okay? You need a circle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little bit of snail adhesive on this circle and choose which side you want your the top of your box to be. And you see I'm going in between the score lines, and I'm going to try to make it as centered as I can. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. And I'm going to bring in my 1.5 inch circle punch. Okay. And no, this is not 1.5 inch. I'm sorry. It's 1.25 inch. Okay, there we go. All right, now it looks like it's taken up all the room of the whole little square here, but it'll be okay, and you'll see why. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and fold and burnish all of my score lines with my bone folder. Okay, and now I'm going to be cutting up some of these score lines here, and what I'm really going to do is just cut the score line off, that little groove that you make when you make your score line. I'm just cutting that off. And the reason I'm not going to notch in is because I need a little space for some adhesive, and these little tabs on the side are kind of small, so I want enough room to have some adhesive here. Okay, so when I cut into the score line here, I actually go a little bit above, or not even a little bit, just right at that other score line kind of surpassing it just a little bit, and then I am able to just kind of rip it off very easily because the fibers of the paper have been a little weakened by that score line. Okay, you see what I'm talking about here. Let me show you. So I basically kind of cut just beyond that long score line here and cut off the score line. And because the paper of the fiber is weakened a little bit, I'm just able to just kind of, you know, rip it off, and there's no harm done to the paper. So let me bring in my silicone craft sheet, because I like to use this because whenever I'm using adhesive, I don't want to get it on my grid paper. So you can use whatever adhesive you like. I think this time, instead of the snail adhesive, I'm going to use some Fast Fuse. Okay, and I am just going to use just a little bit. Now be very careful when you flick your glue, not to do it too hard because your tabs are a little bit delicate. Okay. And when you flick, try to remember to flick one way and then flick the other way. That way your tape always stays centered in this dispenser. Okay, so now I'm going to do the top part first. And I'm going to just fold these in like that. Okay. I love this Island Indigo color. It's one of my favorite shades of blue. It's kind of like an aqua blue. Okay, I'm going to fold that in like that. And fold it like this, and my lid, the top part is done. And now, or maybe I did that backwards, but that's okay. It'll still work out okay. I should have folded those flaps in the other way, but it's not going to matter, and you'll see why. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little glue dot because I meant to put some adhesive here. Let me grab a glue dot. Okay, I always forget this part. Okay, whoops. Where did my glue dot go? It just flew off. Oh, there it is. See, I found it. Okay, but that's okay. See, my glue dot landed right there. But you know what? I got to save this glue dot, and I'll show you why. Okay, so let's tuck this box in. This lid in. See, this is why I should have done it the other way. It's going to work out just fine. Don't worry. Okay, here we go. Now we've got our little box. But when I put this in there, it sits so low. It's like, wait a minute, you can hardly even see it. So what I figured out to do is to grab a something to lift it up, and I found something perfect. This is a lid to a bottle of water. Okay, I mean, you know, you might as well recycle. I'm all for recycling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that glue dot, and I'm just going to roll it up and put it right on the edge. And I'm going to just grab a couple more glue dots and do the same. You only need about 2 or 3. If you want to put more than that, that's fine. It's really not necessary. And I'm just putting it right there on the edge. Okay, can you see that? Okay, one more. I'll just do one more. I'll show you. I roll it in my fingers, and then I'm going to just put it on the edge here. And then I'm going to take one more glue dot. Okay, figured out a way to do this positioning because it was a little hard to get it in there. I'm going to put the glue dot right on top of the cap. I'm going to take my finger. Oops. Yep, take my finger. Now it's stuck on my finger, and now I can center it in here. And those glue dots are going to hold it down, okay? And now I'm going to take another glue dot and put it on top of that one that I just put up. And then I'm going to set this down right here. And now, you see, it holds it just fine. And it holds it up. And, hey, now you're going to be able to see it through. Let me show you. See how you can see it through? And it's kind of raised up, and you kind of see right through the window here. Okay, so let's work on the outside, okay? Now, the difficulty for me was trying to figure out, I wanted it to have a decorative top and, you know, a scallop top, but the tag topper punch was a little bit too wide. I didn't want it to, the box to be that wide. So what I've used is the this is the tags and labels dies. Now I'm going to use the third largest, although it's the second here. If you see, they're nesting, but like this is the second largest. This is actually the third largest. And I picked this because in between the two cut lines, see the lines are right here on the inside edge. That's exactly 1.5 inches. So for me to get that scallop, what I need to do then is to take it to my Big Shot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this in here like this all the way to the top. Okay, and the back side of this paper is pretty too. Okay, all the way to the top here, and then I'm just going to give it a little bit of removable tape. I don't really need to when I'm using it for my my magnetic platform, but I just want to be sure it doesn't shift. So I'll be right back. I'm going to take this to my Big Shot, and I really only need to go just to here with it because the cutting blade stops here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what happens is, see, now I've got my scallop. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'll show you the same thing on this side. Okay, we're just going to put some tape here, and I'm going to take it back to the Big Shot. Now, I'd bring the Big Shot into camera, but it's so clunky. I need to have another camera by my Big Shot. Okay, so now I have the outer part scalloped on the top. Now what I want to do is I want to take this and go ahead and burnish my score lines. Now when you burnish the score line, you're going to see that you could burnish it where I don't know how to explain this, but the score line, I like to burnish it on the top edge of that score line. Okay, now the reason I want to do that is because I want the box to fit nice, and it might be a little snug if I were to do it on the other edge of that score line. Okay, so now when I take my box, it's going to fit really nicely. Okay, I can put it either way. I can put it this way or that way. Okay, now one thing I did forget to do on my box is I want to, but I'll do it after. I want to put some DSP on the sides here just to hide just the plain color on the side. Okay, but let's put our window in here. Now what you're going to need to do is go ahead and fold one of these lines and take a ruler, and you're going to measure about 3/4 of an inch up. Okay, and just put a little pencil mark just about 3/4 of an inch up. Okay, and then you're going to take a 1-inch circle template, and I've got one right here. Oops, excuse me. And I'm going to put some snail adhesive on that. Okay, and I'm going to find that pencil mark. It's right here, and I want to center this the best I can, just right at that mark, so that I can take my 1-inch circle punch. And now I'm going to have this circle here. Okay, there it is. Okay, now my circle is made. Now I want to attach the window on the other side of this. And for that I have a little piece of window sheet that measures 1 1/4 inch square. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue dots. You can put any kind of adhesive you want, but I'm just going to put some glue dots on every corner. Glue dots are my best friend. I love glue dots. Okay, and then after I put them on every corner, then I'm just going to go ahead and place this right here on the inside of the box. You can't see the glue dots from the outside of the box. I just bent that a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, now I can put some tear and tape on. I'm going to put it on above the score line right here. Okay, and you only need it on both sides here. One on this side, one on that side. And let me take some tear and tape. And if you know me, you know I prefer not to tear. I prefer to just cut. Okay, so I'm going to cut there, and see how I have that tear and tape right there, and then I'm going to put another piece right here. You know what, I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. I just feel a little bit more comfortable about it when I bring it in, so that I don't get the adhesive stuck to my grid sheet. That's why I love this craft sheet. Okay, so now let's just punch a little hole in the top scallop here, and for that I'm going to use my 1/8 inch hole punch. Okay, and try to just get it as centered as you can, close to the top. Oh, that's not bad. Hey, I'm getting good. Okay, sorry about that. I am back now. What I did was I put the tape just above the score lines here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the top layer of paper just from the one side. See, I tried to stick it down before I had to put more adhesive. And I am going to just fold this. I'm going to fold it up like this and put this little box right here, kind of trying to center it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, whoops, here we go. And then I'm just going to fold this up. And then I'm going to take this other one. I think I'll use my paper piercing tool. Okay. All right, and then we're going to fold this up on this side here. Okay. And now we're ready to decorate the front part, which you could do, you know, before if you want to, while you've got it flat. But I just completely forgot to do it. Can't count on my memory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1-inch circle punch, and I'm taking some Very Vanilla because that's the color that's right here. All right, and then I'm going to take my scallop, my 1 1/4 inch scallop circle punch, and I am going to punch out a little circle. Try to get it as even as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of this the fine tip glue pen, and what you do is you unscrew the top here and remove the pin from the little narrow applicator here, and I'm just going to very gently squeeze and put a little dot on every one of these scallops. And you don't have to squeeze very hard. It comes out in such a fine little amount. Now I'm going to take the glue off the tip here, and I'm going to put this back in and screw it down. And you just, you know, store it standing up because it won't dry out with that really nice tip, that pin that goes into the tip. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to just center this right here in the opening, just to give it a little bit of decoration in the front. Okay. Oops. What I like about that, the having liquid glue, is you have a little bit of play time to kind of get it right where you want it. Okay, there you go. Now I am going to put the paper on the side here, the DSP on the side, and I've got this color here that kind of matches. Okay, like I say, I'm using up scraps here. I'm going to take my snail adhesive, and I'm going to just place it right here. Okay, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Now you can use the same DSP that you used on the front part, but I thought I'd be a little different and just go with a different color. Well, it's not really a different color, it's just a different pattern from that design. I'm going to just trim this a little bit. Okay, make it flush in the front. Okay, now I'm going to take some ribbon, and I have ribbon, and this color is, come on, where's the color? Well, it usually does tell me the color. Oh, Island Indigo, just like, you know, the ink that I'm going to be using in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take about 10 inches. You probably don't need that much. I'm going to take 10 inches. I'm going to cut a little bit of a diagonal here, and I'm going to feed that. Let me feed it through the back. that little hole. Now, if you think these holes are a little too small, you can take and put a quarter inch, a quarter of an inch hole with your 1/4 inch punch too. But I wanted the hole to be kind of small, so it's going to work out for me. Now, you can use gold ribbon on this too if you want, because that gold kind of matches the Hello Honey that's in this color, this paper, this DSP. Bohemian Stack it's called, okay? Remember that. It's so pretty. Got so many different designs. All right. Here we go, making a bow again on camera. What is wrong with me? Why do I do this to myself? Okay. Here we go. Let's I'm going to take my craft scissors and just trim this down a little bit. Okay? Here we go. A little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to take, let's see, I think I'm going to take this little scrap of DSP. Or let me see, should I take, no, yeah, I'll take this little scrap of DSP. And I'm going to bring in the Petite Petals punch. Okay. And I think I'm just going to punch this out. And I'm going to bring in my little foam thingy here. And I'm going to lift this up with the back of my paper piercing tool, okay, just to give it a little bit of dimension. All right, and now what I've done is I have taken one of these basic rhinestones, and I'm going to, and I colored it with my my marker. You can use Sharpie markers or any color marker you have, as long as it's an alcohol marker. This will be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to turn it over and bring out my glue dots, of course. Okay, and then I think I'm going to set that right here. Whoops, there goes my, well, this might come in handy. Well, let me try a glue dot. Let me see if I can put this down with a glue dot. I think it's a little bit too big for a glue dot, but that's okay. I'll fix it later. That's the way it's going to look. Kind of pretty, huh? All right, now let's work on this little tag on the bottom. See, I put little sweet treats right here. Now, the stamp set that I used is the Teeny Tiny Wishes. It's got a lot of little sentiments here, and most of them, if not all of them, work with the word window punch because they're really small. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little sweet treats, and I'm going to bring in some Island Indigo ink. Okay, let's put all this stuff away. All right, and let's see. I'm going to just stamp it right in the middle of this little piece of Very Vanilla. I'm going to do that again because I got ink on the side. Okay. There it goes. No, let me do that again. Boy, I'm batting 1,000. Now I know how to stamp better than that. Come on. Okay, that's better. I kept rocking that stamp. Okay, so this is beautiful Island Indigo ink. Now I'm going to bring in my word window punch. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to punch it in the middle of the sentiment. I'm going to punch it on the side here. Okay, because I'm going to bring this back in. Let's see, I'm going to just cut a little piece here and here. This little piece here, I'm going to put a little bit of snail adhesive on it. There it goes. And I'm going to bring it back into the word window punch. Okay. Oops. I got it on the wrong side. Remember that. Put it on the side that you're going to be punching out. That's where you need it. Okay. Now, here we go. You're putting it in here and kind of center it a little bit if you can. Can you see that? And then punch. All right. It was a little bit off, but that's okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sponge and just sponge the edges a little bit on this little sweet treats tag. Okay, just to give it a little definition. You know, I like to do that with my my little labels, especially if I don't have any colors behind it. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my Stampin' Dimensionals. I think I'm running out on this side. Oh, no, I'm not. Here we go. I'll take some on the edge here, and I'm going to put that in the back. Because you can use like a one-dimensional, but cut it in half. And because a whole one is a little bit too big for this. Okay, sweet treats here. I'm going to set that right there. And we are done. Okay. What do you think? Think you'll try this? I hope you'll try this. It's a nice way to display your little Hershey Kisses, the bigger ones that come with the hazelnut inside. Like I said, if you need any supplies or any of these tools that I used in this video, just, you know, go to my website. I'd be happy to become your demonstrator if you don't already have one. It's www.geoamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. So this is Jeanette with Geoamazing Paper Crafts. You make it a great day. Bye-bye.